Intro time.
We're still doing this.
Well, you need an intro for the video so people know what they're watching. You are watching the 6-Star Podcast with the host.
And it's my podcast, actually, because I heard you say on your live stream just before that we're going to start my podcast, and I wanted to let everyone know it's not Matt's podcast, it's actually my podcast.
It's our podcast, and I am a part of our, so it is...
I'm
a little bit sick. But it's our podcast, but that also makes it my podcast. It's your podcast and my podcast, so it's our podcast.
My podcast, so.
My voice may crack a few times. I have been sick for almost 3 weeks now. Tana, my girlfriend, got something from Thailand, and that is the main reason why this podcast was delayed as long as it was. Wasn't TG's fault. Put that on the record.
We also thought that we should probably push it back a little bit due to some stuff that, potentially maybe could have happened, but didn't end up happening, which we'll talk about in a second.
I mean, it's more just coincidental, though. That was just a fortuitous that because we pushed it back, we could have it after the nothing burgers of potential GTA 6 dates where nothing
Are you
happened.
saying that Rockstar didn't release Trailer 2 when some people expected them to?
Unbelievable, man. It was the t-shirt. The t-shirt told everything.
It was right last time.
So should we work back, like in reverse, or do we start? What date do we start with?
What do you mean?
As in, like, what date are we going to discuss in terms of the lack of GTA 6 news?
Look, we can rattle them off in order. We'll go through the timeline here, so we can start on March 25, when there was a random Reddit user by the name of Zesty Close Ad or something. I don't know. A few numbers at the end. He had been saying for months, hey, 25/03/25. It's happening on the 25th of March, and all of you guys are gonna wonder who I am and try to figure out who I am once it's correct. And no, random Twitter user was once again wrong. This is maybe, the 5th, 6th time this has happened over the past year that random Twitter user has gone viral. And
it was Reddit user. Wrong. It was a Reddit user.
Reddit user, yes.
Reddit, Twitter, basically the same thing. But I was, so I had only heard about this vaguely in passing, and I just saw it on Twitter that people were discussing this dude. I thought there had to be more to it than that.
That was it.
Like I was hoping to come onto this podcast and get information from you that made it make more sense to me. So it was really just some random guy on Reddit being like, "It's coming." But that's because, like, in our YouTube comment sections, there are people all the time being like, "It's this date, guys. It's this date." We ourselves have guessed random dates.
To be fair, yeah, Game Informer was also coming back on the same day.
But I mean,
Game Informer in the past has had like GTA exclusives, world exclusives. They actually have been the first to break news in the past. Like, Rockstar has gone to them in the past. You may remember magazine covers for San Andreas, GTA 5, GTA 4. And Game Informer went out of business last year. They announced they're coming back on March 25. That sort of lined up with this random Twitter user, so people thought maybe they were coming back to break an exclusive. It's all the same, man. There's crazy people on every one, including me.
And so, just to be clear, the Reddit user wasn't saying the 25th of March because of this Game Informer thing. It just coincidentally happened to line up.
That's right. Yeah, they've been saying this for
It would be funny
months.
if Game Informer took advantage of this hype for March 25th. Maybe they were going to announce their comeback at some other day.
I doubt it. Like,
Well.
It wasn't actually that big of a theory until Game Informer
Yeah, that's a good
put
point.
it out. Like, they kind of went hand in hand, but the dude deleted his Reddit account, so
I mean, that's such a wild thing to do. Like who cares? What is going to be mocked for the rest of time because of this? No, people forget about it in a week.
I don't know. You underestimate this community, Matt. We're a bit crazy at this point. I don't know.
The internet just goes so fast, and there's so much bullshit so constantly. There's no way people would have stuck with it for long.
We can move into the April 1st theory.
Yeah, TGG, the champion of the t-shirt.
Hey, I'll admit, if I was going to pick a date over the past 6 months, this had been my prediction. Did I think it was going to happen on this day? I don't know, but, you have to make a prediction. That was my prediction. It was wrong. It is what it is.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it had some legitimacy. I thought it was, if indeed, as you told me, that the T-shirt did sync up with the first trailer, and it had other numbers that coincidentally synced up to April 1st. So wait. What do you think happened? Was it just coincidental that the numbers coincided with trailer 1, or was it the numbers only meant to coincide with trailer 1, or like what happened?
The fact that it had that sequence of numbers for the GTA trailer 1 date within that riddle, like the chances of that happening naturally, you have to understand how low of a chance that is, right?
Millions to one.
Genuinely, someone get a probability calculator out, right? So there will be people out there that will say it's a coincidence, but if we're looking at statistics, like if you just look at probability, the chances of it being an actual teaser for trailer 1's date is far more likely than it not.
Wait, so break it down for me again. Was it just because I've seen the shirt, isn't it just a random sequence of numbers all the way around or something? And it was just one?
No, so it's got lots of like Mount Chiliad stuff in the middle of the shirt. Around the outside, it's got the same sequence of numbers 4 times. Now those numbers, every 2 numbers is a letter of the alphabet. So let's say 01 is A, because A is the first letter of the alphabet. If it was 02, it would be B, right? That's how the code works. It translates to one day will reveal all. And within that sequence of numbers was the trailer 1 date, which is why a lot of people thought that the trailer 2 date could also be in there.
Wait, just to be clear though, they did just pick a random sequence. Oh, so okay. After trailer 1 released, did people go back and see the number sequence and go, oh, it coincided with that? Or did people look at the number sequence before trailer 1?
No, people looked at it before. Yeah, so even I'm actually, even I made a video the day after the San Andreas Mercenaries came out, and I titled it was about the t-shirt, and I think I titled it something like Rockstar could be teasing GTA 6, but I don't really know. It was something like that, and it was talking about the trailer. I got flamed for that, by the way. Anyway, it turns out that yes, like that date was the date for trailer 1, but that was something that was discovered I think the day of that DLC and that shirt being leaked. So
So what do you think happened? They originally planned to have it released on April 1st, but there's been some delay, or it was just nothing from the get-go?
No, look, in hindsight, the trailer 1 date was there. They did say 1 day will reveal all. They didn't say 2 days, right? So the trailer 1 date was in there. A lot of people actually thought that 1st of April 2025 could have been the release date, because we do know that the game was scheduled to release closer to the start of 2025 a couple of years ago. Got internally
this is a long time
pushed
ago. All this has been around.
Yeah, so it did get internally pushed back to the end of 2025. It could have been nothing though, right? Like at the end of the day, we'll never really know. It's hard to say. We'll never know.
Yeah, so another day with no developments on GTA 6, and Strauss Zelnick, though, has done an interview since then, which has told us why, and it's pretty much mimicking the same stuff we talked about last episode, where they want to advertise closer to launch. And apparently we are not close enough to launch yet for them to bother spending money to advertise a game that everyone's talking about anyway. What was his phrase? That he wants to maintain anticipation? Maintain
anticipation, something like that. Yeah. This was implied in the latest earnings call. Not from Strauss himself. I believe it was from Laney, who is the chief financial officer for TakeTwo Interactive. This was sort of implied, but this is the first time that we get confirmation from Strauss Zelnick that this is how they're specifically approaching Grand Theft Auto 6's marketing, which is cool to see. It explains why we don't have trailer 2. It should hopefully put some people's minds at ease if you're expecting a delay, because typically Rockstar releases trailer 2 about a year before the game comes out. So people have been very worried because we don't have trailer 2 yet that the game's going to get delayed, because Rockstar always releases it a year before the game comes out. But Strauss Zelnick said, no, look, we're going to release all the marketing a lot closer to launch this time. So that gives us a perfect explanation as to why the trailer isn't out yet. And like I said, should hopefully let people rest easy, because the game has not been delayed, at least not yet.
I can't recall, did he give a specific reason why the advertising strategy has changed? Or did she? I think she did, right? It was just like, well, it's hard to maintain attention or whatever in social media because there's so much stuff happening, and Was that it?
I think a lot of what their reasoning was, and I can't remember the exact words they used, but it was because they want to do more marketing post-release as well. If I was going to like just interpret that with what you've sort of seen over the gaming industry over the past few years is, let me think of a game like Helldivers 2, for example, right? That came out and it exploded. It was not due to the marketing that happened before the game came out. It was due to the marketing that happened after the game came out.
Yeah.
And you've seen this trend happen a lot recently where games that you've seemingly never heard of until they're out are blowing up. So I guess Take-Two has deemed that it's not worth getting people, overly hyped with constant marketing a year before the game comes out, because the bulk of the work should be done just before a game comes out and then after the game comes out. Because GTA 6 is going to be a game that's played for decades.
Yeah, so I guess they're going to have the same marketing budget, but they're just going to stretch it over a longer period. And you can maybe, due to the way that GTA 5 sold, that's probably a sound strategy. And I doubt GTA 5 sold the bulk of its sales on the release dates or around the release dates. Like the collective of sales over the lifespan of GTA 5 would be more than what they'd get in the first week, for example. And so continuously advertising it would probably, obviously make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because GTA 5, obviously it sold, the headlines, everyone knows them at this point, made $1 billion in the first 3 days. I haven't checked the stats over the past couple years, but up until about 2022, for about that 10-year period between its release and 2022-ish, it was a top 5 selling game every single month on PlayStation. Beating out brand new games. Like there's a month where Call of Duty releases in, let's say, like 2019, and GTA 5 outsold it that month. It's
wild.
It is absolutely bizarre. So I can understand what they're saying. And in reality, right, like, what is the point of Rockstar coming out and releasing, let's say, trailer 2 or a gameplay trailer now? You can't buy the game now.
Yeah.
You can buy the game when it comes out. So they want you to be excited for the game when it is about to come out and when you can actually give them money.
Yep. I mean,
You can't give them money yet.
even when we, as content creators, advertise our own stuff, we generally wait until you can actually get the thing, as opposed to wasting a lot of time advertising something that people can't even click through to purchase. Exactly. Yeah, I guess that all makes sense. Someone in chat said, Rockstar so incompetent, still cannot do simultaneous PC and console releases. I don't think it's incompetence. I think they could do it if they wanted to, but it just makes
a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. They sell more copies. And in a way, like the PC release itself can act as an advertisement for the console release just later on. Like you can guarantee there's a spike in console sales when the PC release also releases as well. It just makes, it worked for them the first time around. They're not going to change from that. Even though I don't think every game could as successfully sell
definitely
multiple copies. But there's just advantages to it, especially when they have the consistent online world of GT Online to justify additional purchases.
I see the PC release a little differently. I agree with what you said, but I would probably also add that when it comes out on PC, it kind of is a different game as well, because it opens up a lot of new possibilities for the community. One being mods, of course. Mod support for GTA 5. Like, it's got to be up there with the most modded game of all time, right? So, once it releases on PC, that's kind of an entirely new experience. And I would imagine Rockstar doesn't want people to just nuke the game and transform it completely on day one. Also, releasing it on PC opens up the ability for people to data mine and potentially spoil a lot of the surprises that they've hidden within the game.
Yeah, always an unfortunate part, yeah.
Yeah. And with a game as big as GTA, a game that takes 12 years for the next installment to come out, you probably don't want all of these cool Easter eggs and secrets and spoilers being revealed on day one because someone digs into the code as opposed to actually finding it in the game.
I want to push back a little bit and say that I'm not sure a significant portion of the player base ever bothers to install a mod. Like, I would love to see the numbers on that. Obviously, that is a factor, certainly, but it helps because we can make content and all that jazz. And certainly with the rise of roleplay, I think Or maybe it's just a different environment now that maybe modding is far more accessible than it was in the past. Like, I don't think in 2015, when it came to PC GTA 5, that there was much modding at all, or the average person was modding and playing the game like that. But that might be different with GTA 6, I suppose, because it's just more... Because we have the whole social media ecosystem now, and it's you have more information about modding, and other content creators are showcasing how cool modding is. So, like, surely the percentage of the player base that is modding the game has increased, but I would still be surprised if it would even hit like
it's definitely
5%.
Very small. But like, I'm mainly... Admittedly, I'm probably thinking of it from a content perspective as well, right? Most of the content that people consume of GTA 5 nowadays is modded.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what most people are playing, but if you think of it from a content perspective, do you want people to be watching content of the game you worked on for 12 years? Or do you want them consuming, within a month of release, content of Spider-Man swinging around Vice City?
Yeah, it's absolutely. I'm sure they have factored in the modding equation into the release of the game, but I'd be surprised if that was a dominant factor in their wanting to release it twice. Ultimately, it's just probably the money.
Yeah, just the biggest reason, for sure.
They're going to sell more copies and make more money, so the money is probably a smaller factor.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Speaking of, re-releasing games, as everyone knows, the GTA 5 PC enhanced version came out fairly recently, a couple of weeks ago. And surprisingly, Rockstar kept patching it as well. And making
I'm sure that was
better.
received very well and people were not upset over a free upgrade.
Yeah. We talked a bit about that last time. But an interesting video came out from a well-respected channel, Digital Foundry, titled Grand Theft Auto 5 PC Ray Tracing Upgrade, a preview of GTA 6 features, where they effectively said, it seems as though that the enhanced features we got for GTA 5 perhaps came from GTA 6. Their justifications were that it was a very comprehensive lighting improvement, like a lot of effort went into it, and why would they go to that much effort just for GTA 5? And it's similar to the ray tracing that was shown in the trailer 1. Also, it's well optimized, as it would need to be for console. They say despite how optimized it is, they are worried that the current gen consoles will be able to use that form of ray tracing and still hit 60 FPS. I thought this was interesting because it's in a way like the first features of GTA 6 that we're seeing in a way. And I think it was like the more I examine it, the more impressed I am with the lighting changes. Originally, when it released, I was not particularly impressed. I'm like, this is nothing.
They're really good.
Yeah,
that's the most noticeable part for sure.
Exactly.
For me, like I've noticed a little bit of an improvement in graphics, but the lighting is actually a game changer.
Yeah. Can I show just on screen here? I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but okay. Let me fix the screen. So this is a website comparing the ray tracing enhancements. So you can like slide it from side to side. So this is no ray tracing. This is what the game looked like before, and this is the change. And you can see like with the side by side comparison, it is a huge difference. It's so much better. Even places just like this, it's like it looks more natural and real. In tunnels, like even the fog over there is removed, and look at that. It's as I say, without these side by side comparisons, it's less obvious, but once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it when you play the game.
For anyone who doesn't really know what they're looking at, it's a more realistic way of simulating how light bounces and bleeds. It bounces off objects and bleeds into other objects. So, you can see, like, it's kind of hard to demonstrate it, but the light is bouncing off of the floor and projecting up onto the roof, for example, like it would in real life. And if you go back to that car, where it's got the nighttime.
Sure.
You can even see, like, the colored light bleeds into other objects as well. No, the one you were on just before, but just with the car lights at nighttime. Yeah, you can see the colored lights bleed
this one
more as well. And if you have, like, a colored car, that color from the car at night will project onto the ground a little bit. It's a lot more realistic, and it's really noticeable if you've played a lot of GTA 5 without this.
Yeah, so I'm happy with the improvements. Not that I think it massively revolutionized the game. In a way, this is what I hoped for, because I was concerned that the graphic improvements would be so good that my content that hasn't released yet and my previous content would look garbage by comparison, and people would be less interested in it. Not that was a huge concern, but the enhancement is there and it looks better. But I don't think people hate the look of Legacy or something because it doesn't have these particular things.
How's your frames been on it? Because I know there was an issue when it first came out. What's your frame rate looking like on average?
Generally, for speedrunning, you want to have like a ridiculously high frame rate. You want to have like a constant 150, and I can't get that in the enhanced version. In online, I think I still hit 70, with all the graphic enhancements. If you turn down, is it the shadows that is particularly bad? Like it goes to 90, 100. As I say, the amount of benefit that these enhancements are going to give you is going to depend on your hardware. And so I suspect that the vast majority of people are having a more modest of an improvement than perhaps we are on our more beefier rigs.
Yeah.
But still good. Next topic was one that I hope you know more about, which is the content creator Darkspace released a video titled "I finally made a playable GTA 6 map in 5M and single player," and it was up for a few days, and then TakeTwo took it down. And he then released a video called TakeTwo Took Down My Video /map project, where he railed against TakeTwo, saying, they should support content creators more. Their attacks on modding is foolishness, and there's no way that his little video that he spent a lot of time on would really impact GTA 6 at all, so why bother taking it down? So a lot of these sentiments I kind of agree with, but then there was that sort of view, if you were... You kind of did it knowing that it was probably going to be taken down, so you can't be... I don't think he was that surprised, but obviously he would prefer if Take-Two did things differently.
TGG says for the 100th time on this podcast already that Rockstar should have a community manager for this type of stuff to talk to people about what is and isn't okay. Look, this actually opens up a bit of a gray area that we should probably talk about. It's actually a very gray area in terms of copyright.
So can I just ask you before we go into that? Did you see his original video?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so would you say that it was in large part built off the leaks that happened previously? Because clearly a lot of information
maybe
has come
50-50.
50-50? So some of it was speculation, and some of it, from the trailer, for example, extrapolating things, and some of it would be leaks, right?
Because from the trailer itself, we got a lot. So for context, the map that Darkspace made was a recreation of GTA 6's Vice City within GTA 5. And it was mainly just the layout. So he didn't actually copy any specific buildings. So he didn't recreate any real buildings. It was just the layout. And it was only the actual city. So it wasn't Port Gellhorn. It wasn't the top parts of the map. It was only the city. And most of the stuff for the city, we actually saw in trailer 1. A little bit we saw in the leaks, but most of the stuff, because all of those big flying shots over the city, the people in the mapping project community can really actually accurately map out what the map looks like. Those massive aerial shots really help. I think it opens up a gray area though, because when Take-Two Interactive took his project and his video down, the copyrighted content they said, which had violated the law or whatever, was Grand Theft Auto.
Because it's not like he's using their assets or something, right? If someone made a fictional world or something, and then you use that and mapped it into a game of any sort, is that really violating copyright? Maybe.
It's such a weird area, but they kind of get away with it, right? Because they just said Grand Theft Auto. They didn't say Grand Theft Auto 6. They just said the copyrighted content you use was Grand Theft Auto, which opens up a whole can of worms. Are they actually allowed to do that? Because technically, any video game content that you upload on YouTube violates copyright. Technically. Because you're using someone else's game. Now, there's some companies that don't actually allow you to put their game on social media, such as Nintendo cracks down on it. They claim anyone who uploads Nintendo content. And Rockstar is well within their rights to actually claim any Grand Theft Auto video, because technically without permission, you are uploading their game to YouTube and profiting from it. So the fact that they just said Grand Theft Auto opens up a can of worms, because are they just now going to pick and choose which videos they can take down? It's kind of strange.
Well, I mean, they kind of did that in the past as well. I found out about this recently through is it Jetro's videos, where like back in the day when people would do like money glitches, like maybe even today they might still. If you make a video about a money glitch or whatever, they'll take it down and say this is a copyright violation. Clearly, they've always had, especially in the modding scene, like they'll take down some mods and not take down others. And we talk about copyright, but a lot of this still is not really, I don't think, that tested in the courts. I don't think. Usually when a person gets their video taken down, they're not going to go to court against Rockstar and potentially have a lengthy legal battle to see the exact extent to which Rockstar has the right to take down content that uses their assets or their IP. Because people talk about fair use all the time, but fair use is a defense of copyright violation. You are still violating copyright, but it's a last defense where it says, sure, I violated copyright, but it is a fair use. It's fair use, so I shouldn't receive any negative consequences for that. Even if you use someone else's copyrighted work in a way that you could hypothetically defend with fair use, you've still technically violated copyright. It's just you don't receive any sanctions for doing so because of that legal defense. And to what extent fair use defends any gaming content, we don't know. Gaming content is so unbelievably varied, where you've got like a single player playthrough of a video game completely unedited with all the cutscenes in it. I don't think that has as likely a chance of being defended under fair use as, say, making a world in Minecraft that maybe is entirely modded with your own personal assets, where you're building things and spending a lot of time and stuff. And certainly, a single player playthrough of a game put on YouTube unedited potentially detracts more from the individual experience of that game than does, seeing someone build something in Minecraft. And it just depends. And obviously, Dark Space is not going to challenge Rockstar and try and get his small video put back up. It's just not worth
technically.
it.
Take-Two, not Rockstar, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, until there is some landmark ruling in regards to gaming content, Rockstar, Take-Two will always have the ability to take down whatever they want. But even if there was such a ruling, even in such a world, there would still be a lot of ambiguity as to what could be defended under fair use. It's a very much so case by case basis thing, and it sucks for Dark Space, but
he put a lot of time into it. Like he put months into making that, and it was purely out of passion. Typically, developers, publishers let you upload their content to YouTube, like their games, because it's a mutual benefit, right? We make money from it. People watch our videos, then they are inspired to go and play the game. So the developer sells more copies. Everyone sort of makes money off it. That's why publishers and game developers will actually, for example, pay Matt or I to play their game on stream, as opposed to suing us for it, right?
Yeah, because watching a video of someone play a game is a fundamentally different experience from playing it yourself. Although, of course, it does depend on the game to some degree as to how different that experience is. I say sometimes walking simulators. If you watch a person play through what's effectively an interactive video, then that's giving you basically the entire experience. But if you watch a person, say, play League of Legends or play Grand Theft Auto online, that's not giving you the entire experience of playing it yourself. No, and certainly it's not giving you the gameplay experience of playing it, which is what they're selling anyway. But there's like some companies that make these walking simulators, these interactive novels. They will actually say, don't live stream our game for so many months, or don't live stream past this point. Like Persona, there was a game a while back that got into trouble for saying, please don't live stream past X chapter or whatever. This still happens occasionally, but it doesn't traditionally happen anymore in the more gameplay focused games like the ones that we play. But that wasn't always the case. The very early days of YouTube, like Ubisoft would take down. Is it Ubisoft who makes Call of Duty? Who makes Call of Duty?
Activision.
Activision. Yeah, Activision would take down Call of Duty content and stuff, and but eventually, they saw the value in it and they left it up. But
and typically developers will leave it up. When they see there's mutual benefit, and typically they'll take content down when they think it will lose them money. Like you said, money glitches, for example, Rockstar will take those down. But what's interesting about taking down a GTA 6 map recreation is that's not going to stop anyone from buying GTA 6.
No.
It's just not, which, was the debate with Liberty City, the Liberty City mod that got taken down. But this one even more so. It's apparent that this isn't going to stop anyone from buying GTA 6. If anything, you would think that it is a mutual benefit and that people would be more excited to
In a way, that's why I asked about whether it used leak content. Because you remember when the big leaks happened in 2022, like I had my video taken down because in the thumbnail, I had blurred out pictures of the content. And they're like, that's too much. Yeah. You've shown too much leak content. And I'm like, really? They clearly don't like how much was leaked. Maybe they feel embarrassed.
They emailed me asking me to take down my video because I accidentally showed the link in the video that the guy put to the file. So I did, but yeah.
Clearly they treat leaked stuff with a great deal of seriousness. And but I mean, they have, of course, taken down things that have nothing to do with the leaks as well. But I would assume that it's just they're worried about the game being spoiled or whatever. And they hate the idea that the thing that they've worked on for, over 12 years is being first presented by people who aren't them, in a way, right? Because wouldn't you be annoyed by that? You work on something for a bazillion years and someone else goes, hey, here's what this other person's been working on. I mean, I respect Dark Space for what he did, and I don't know if I was in Rockstar's shoes, if I would take it down, but I can kind of see, I can kind of see where they might come from on that front.
Another chapter closes in the TakeTwo verse modders book with TakeTwo currently at 1,000 and modders currently at 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next topic, which has been a topic for a long time. It seems to come up like every second week. GTA 6 being potentially $100. Where do these rumors keep coming from? I suppose people keep talking about it, and some other game developers talk about it. Because clearly there's some desire to increase the price or the average price of a video game. But
skip.
You don't care about this topic?
I'm sick of hearing about it. I will happily eat my shoe if it is $100. It will not be $100.
Honestly, though,
I just...
Look,
I don't...
I talk about this sometimes. I think we're in a position where Rockstar does not need to sell GTA 6 for $100 to make a profit. And therefore, if they do it, people will hate it for that reason. With that being said, though, probably justifiably, the game could be worth $100. It's a weird world where we will pay the same amount of money for a game that was worked on for a year and has like 8 hours of content, and a game that was worked on for 10 years that has 1,000 hours of content. Those will both be on the shelf at the same price, and that's always been weird. I heard from an author recently, Brandon Sanderson, where he talked about how if you make a book that has, 300 pages, it can sell on the shelf the same price as a book with 900 pages, even though it took you 3 times as long. And bookshops prefer smaller books because it takes up less shelf space and they can charge the same amount of money. And publishers prefer smaller books because it takes less pages to print, but they can charge the same amount of money. And I'm sure Rockstar is sitting there being like, why are we charging the same amount of money as Ubisoft making their game in a fraction of the time or whatever, when we could be charging more? If we were paying on a basis of effort or actual value given to us as a consumer, GTA 6 necessarily would we would be charged a lot more for GTA 6 than $60, which is what is standard for the US in USD. And so I think the only argument as to why they shouldn't charge $100 is that they don't need to. They're gonna make billions of dollars. They're gonna make their money back. They don't need to. Especially in these times where people have less disposable income, like fucking why would they do that?
I agree that compared? Sorry to cut you off.
No,
do I agree that compared to most games that cost you $70, GTA 6 will give you enough value to warrant it being $100? Yes, I do. However, there's a few things you need to consider. One, a lot of people can't afford that, or they're just not in a position to. So it's probably not the smartest move, and it's going to make a lot of people angry. Two, it will encourage other developers whose games aren't as good to move their price up to $100 as well. Now look, in an objective world where we can objectively, let's say there was a ratings board. In an ideal world, there's a ratings board that can use whatever they need to determine whether a game is AA, AAA, or, like, GTA 6 probably is going to be a quadruple A quality game. If there is an objective world where we can classify what category a game falls into, sure, let quadruple A games cost $100. But it's just not going to happen. And if Grand Theft Auto 6 costs $100, then get ready for Black Ops 7 to cost $100. Get ready for the next Assassin's Creed to cost $100. Like, and it's quite clear that the level of quality there, the level of replayability, the level of immersion is not the same there. Skull and Bones was apparently a quadruple A game, man. Like, really, what are we talking about?
It is funny. You can look at this from so many other angles. In a way, because it's a competitive market, video games, right? While you have exclusive access to particular gaming experiences, there is so many more games being made these days. Like, you are a person. If you charge $80 for your game, it can be entirely possible that person will skip over your game and buy a game that's worth $60. Like, like I'm not sure, even if GTA 6 was $100, that every dev would or a publisher would feel themselves in a position of such demand that they'd be able to do the same, because they'd be worried that the game will be skipped over. And I'm sure even Rockstar is thinking that if they charge $100 for the game, that less people will buy it, less people will go into the GTA Online 2 ecosystem, which is where they make most of their money. And I think that's probably the main reason why they won't want to increase the price. Potential reputational damage, and that they want to get into the online ecosystem. They want more people in the online ecosystem, which is where they make most of their money. But it is just interesting thinking about how few video games actually turn a profit, and how much more expensive a lot of video games are to make these days, and how the price of video games hasn't really kept up with inflation. But there are, of course, more gamers than there's ever been before to potentially buy games as well. It's as I say, you want to skip this discussion. I think it's an interesting discussion in terms of how things get priced and why they're at those prices and the influences of the market.
It's an interesting discussion. I just think it's been beat to death at this point.
Yeah,
and I get asked about it every day still.
Especially because we have good reasons to think that GTA 6 won't be $100. So it's kind of a It just gets brought up.
Another rumor. It's another rumor that gets thrown around, and it's just. It's at a point where you're just kind of sick of hearing rumors.
In a way, it might be just because people, especially these accounts that only talk about GTA 6, they just want something to talk about again. They just want a little bit more engagement. And it's like, remember that discussion about $100? Let's have that again. It was what happens when it's not official.
That's something I want to touch on later as well when we dive into maybe the Ned Luke discussion, because that's an interesting point that is definitely relevant. So keep that in the bank.
This I put in here. I'm not sure the numbers are going to be exactly the same looking at it right now, but I got the numbers when I was looking at it. I wanted to answer the question of, did GTA Enhanced bring back players to play GTA 5 and play GTA Online, or did it just split the player base between Legacy and Enhanced? Because obviously the release of Enhanced had at least some people come back to try it, had more people talking about the online GTA Online, but did it really succeed in expanding the game to have more people playing it? And so I kind of looked at the numbers, and
what did you find?
Yeah, so the peak pre-enhanced version, so just everyone on Legacy, was between like 180k to 200k players on a particular day. After, in March, when Enhanced had released, Legacy got like 100 to 120,000 players, and Enhanced got 100 to 120,000 players. So to what extent that the numbers suggest that more people came back and are now playing the game post-Enhanced, it's not that much. It's not like doubled the player numbers or something. It's at best brought back, maybe 10, 20% more players that have stuck around to continue to play the game. It's hard to really crunch the numbers, especially because it seems as though over time, more people are moving away from the Legacy version.
Yeah, there is a slow, you can see, if you look at the chart for it, there is a slow migration over to Enhanced. But it's also hard to tell because we're kind of at a stale point with GTA Online right now, right? Like a DLC came out a few months ago, so the player base is naturally going to drop off. It's very hard to tell at this point in a game's life cycle.
Well, I don't think the enhanced version was released by Rockstar for the only reason of trying to inspire a greater amount of people to play GTA Online. It maybe achieved that a little bit, but, didn't have a monumental effect.
It's hard to really skyrocket the GTA 5 player base at this point in its life cycle.
Everyone's played the game. It's been out for a bazillion years. And unless you fundamentally change the game, it is still the same game, even if you give it a new coat of paint.
I think this was just, in a weird way, you could sort of look at it as like we're sorry that GTA 6 isn't coming to PC on day one type of update. It's like, here, have this in the meantime.
Yeah.
It's like, even if it brings players back, right, it's not going to get them hooked again. There's no real new features. They got the expanded and enhanced stuff like the career progress, but that's not going to appeal to a massive audience. I
mean, Rockstar is still clearly interested in getting more people to play, unsurprisingly. There was a one-time offer for players who haven't logged in 60 days to get $1 million for logging in and bonus money for Shark card purchases. Do they do this often? I haven't not paid attention enough to...
I think they may have done one a few years ago, if I'm remembering correctly, but it's very rarely. Maybe they've never done it. I'm not quite sure, but only if you haven't played in 60 days, you can log in and get $1 million. So you can basically buy like half of a car.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one thing, it's not that much money, and two, how many people are not playing GTA Online for 60 days, yet are in a situation where they could hear of this news and therefore desire to play? How do you get that information to that audience of people? Like, I can't imagine many people would have taken advantage of this, or rather,
no.
There will probably be people who coincidentally logged on during this time and got this money, and they would have been happy for it. But I doubt many people specifically sought out to play again to get $1 million for logging in.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even know about it for a few days, and I play the game every day.
And we're in the news as well. Like, we care about all the news for the content. So like, why bother? Like, I mean, I guess just testing.
Maybe testing. Yeah, testing most likely, right? You would think, like, will this work? Is this something we should try for GTA 6?
It costs them nothing, I suppose. It is just hard to...
It's random.
Yeah. It's just hard to reach people who leave your ecosystem, right? Like, when people go and do other things, it's hard to put something in front of their faces to be like, yo, come back. Which I suppose is the advantage of content creators. We're always making new stuff to potentially draw in an audience to see the game again, to bring people back from the Marvel rivals, from the League of Legends or whatever, bring them back into the GTA Online ecosystem.
Especially when you're trying to get people who haven't played in a while to come back with like some in-game currency. It's not like you're advertising any new content for them. It's not like you're really giving them a reason to come back. It's just, you want to come back and grind again? We'll give you a little head start. It's like, no, don't really want to.
I'm sure there is an amount of money, though, that they could have given for that to happen, right? What if it was $100 million?
$10 million. Yeah. 10 would probably be enough.
Yeah, surely people would start talking about it and stuff, and maybe they get more people back for that reason. But $1 million? I don't know. It's fictional currency. Why didn't they not just go balls to the wall and figure out how much they need to give people to get them to actually care about the game?
I mean, really, it's not going to cost them much in Shark card sales at this point, is it? GTA 6 is coming out soon. Like, just let people have fun at this point.
It would be interesting if in the final days of GTA Online they just make everything free. Surely, right?
You would think there's got to be some mega sales or some mega bonuses or something, right? Like, do some crazy send-off event, but again, we don't know what GTA 6 Online looks like, so...
Yeah. I know there's this creator that I like, Josh Strife Hayes, and he talks about MMOs. And he has played MMOs in their very last days of their life cycle, where they're trying to milk out any little bit of money that they can steal from the limited player base that's still there. And so they just start releasing like hugely pay-to-win things that just destroy the entire game, like just instant max level boosts and all that stuff. And it'd be interesting if Rockstar is so desperate for money, they release like an Oppressor Mark III.
Mark III, yes.
At the very end.
When there's like 1 week left, when there's 1 week left, give everyone an Oppressor Mark III and then never put that anywhere near 6, please. Never. But for a meme, they should have done that for April Fools, honestly. That would have been funny.
Yeah, this, I guess we kind of touched on this before, so I won't touch on it too much, but Rockstar is very committed to having Enhanced and Legacy be both pretty playable, so they are releasing a lot of fixes for GTA Enhanced. They didn't just throw it out the door. They have responded to people's criticisms and fixed things, which, as Rockstar should, but it's not always a guarantee.
Did they put text chat in yet? Did they put text chat in?
Oh, no, okay, maybe they haven't listened to every criticism, but I believe that some
but
of
they've addressed most of the other
issues.
Ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot of patch notes if you want to. Say I could press this button and show it on screen and be like, wow, look at all the patch notes, guys. Wow. This is March 19 and, all these going back here. So they're doing stuff. They care about the game still.
Yeah, they're going to try and improve it. And look, as everyone kind of really knew, all of this negative press around the enhanced version when it came out has started to die off and people just naturally migrate over and it's going to become the best way to play the game on PC.
Yep. Still not the case.
Unless you like text chat. Then text chat is, yeah.
Although, I mean, some people... actually, I didn't really do much testing in that regard as to whether or not Enhanced without the ray tracing and stuff, if that gives a better FPS experience than Legacy. Could it be possible that some people have poor systems and so can only really play Legacy still? I would assume that Enhanced would be, in general, more optimized. And so if you just turned off those new features, that you'd have a similar experience. I don't know.
Well, doesn't it have higher minimum specs? I think it does.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I guess because when I see the numbers of how many people are still playing Legacy, it's a lot, right? And there has to be some justification for that. I suppose, so why? Are they just still, some people can't play the enhanced version online, or
honestly, there's probably a chunk of players that still don't know about it.
But it's in the Steam thing, it's above it immediately. I'm sure people know. It must be performance issues or some such. I don't know.
Unless there's just hundreds of thousands of people that fucking love text chat and cannot live without it in GTA Online, and they just need it.
Wait, are you saying in the Legacy version there's still the text chat?
Yeah.
Really? So it's only removed for Enhanced?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
90% sure, yeah. Yeah.
But isn't that kind of important for all our discussions of the text chat being removed? Because is it possible that they just broke it in some way and they'll bring it back? So Legacy still does have text chat. If they left it in Legacy it's not in Enhanced, then you'd assume that they're fine with having text chat and there's just some reason why it can't be in Enhanced. Surely, right?
I don't know, but they did confirm that it wasn't an oversight. They intentionally did not put...
That's so weird.
Text chat in. Yeah.
They probably pasted Enhanced from console version. Does console not have a text chat? Well, yeah, because it wouldn't, because you wouldn't have a keyboard.
You can text people in-game, but there's no text chat.
That's crazy. Oh,
man had just had his mind blown.
Mind blown. Because obviously they're working on GTA 6 on consoles, and of course that the enhanced version was on consoles first. So they must. So I would assume now, knowing that information, that they just ported something from the console versions, either GTA 6 or GTA 5, and that's just made it so the text chat can't work. That's crazy. So all that discussion of not liking the text on screen and potentially legal reasons stuff, all that's bullshit. Ignore that from last week.
Legal reasons, yeah, sure. No, but more so, maybe they don't want people spamming mod menus.
I mean, but if they're leaving it in Legacy, they can't care about that, surely.
Yeah, but they're kind of low-key abandoning Legacy.
Really? You think they're going to stop putting any updates to Legacy in the same way that they did to the PS3 version and stuff?
No. The player base is going to move over, just with the PS4 to PS5 version, right? They still give them the DLCs and stuff, but
I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
guess
majority of players are on enhanced now.
I think probably they would just play it by year. Am I saying that correct? Because I used to say play it by ear. Is it play it by ear or play it by year? We did this once before. Whatever that, they would just
My friend always says it's a dog world, Matt.
they would assess by the numbers how many people are still on Legacy, and eventually the player base, if it dwindles enough, they won't bother to make the new updates compatible with Legacy. But I think they'll keep doing it so long as there's enough people playing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So next topic, GTA 5 is coming to the Xbox Game Pass.
Specifically PC Game Pass, which is the news. So it's been on Xbox Game Pass before. They add it, remove it every so often. You know, it is what it is. But it's coming to PC Game Pass, which is interesting. So it might open up a little bit of a new player base.
So just explain to me the Game Pass, right? So the Game Pass, you can play the games while it's on the pass, right? But do you lose access when they leave? They do, right?
Yes, you do.
So then you just have to buy it after the fact. Yeah. Because, I mean, this is similar to back in the day when the Epic Games launcher had GTA 5 for free, and people just mass made free accounts on the Epic Games launcher. This, I assume, won't be played through Steam?
No, I don't think so. So I think it's going to be the Xbox launcher, because there is an Xbox launcher, just another launcher that you have to download. But
yeah, and you know how people hate extra launchers and prefer Steam.
Yeah.
How many people are really sitting there being like, man, I've been waiting 12 years to play GTA 5. Finally, it's coming to the Xbox Game Pass.
I guess there's a decent audience that has PC Game Pass, but like, how many people don't have GTA 5 at this point?
Yeah, and want to play it. There's tons of people who don't have it, but that are waiting for this opportunity to play it. I mean, there must be some, right? In the same way that I was surprised how many people got it for free on the Epic Game Store. Although I'm sure a lot of that was people just making free accounts just in case they got banned or whatever. There are still people out there who haven't played the game, who will see it on the storefront and be like, oh, may as well give it a go. But I can't imagine it's that many. It feels that this is again, all these things that Rockstar is doing, clearly they have an interest in getting more people to play GTA 5, even though it's so close to the release of GTA 6.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, actually thinking about it, maybe they're doing this because it's close to the release of GTA 6. They want people to get into the game, play through single player, have an interest, or renewed interest in the world of GTA 5, and then they can jump in for GTA 6. Because there are some people who played GTA 5 10 years ago and haven't touched it since, haven't thought about it since. And every time they do something like this, it brings people back, reminds people GTA exists. Because it's hard for us to put our mindset, to get the mindset of a person who hasn't been immersed in the world of Grand Theft Auto, the world of Rockstar for, 10 years. There are people who will have played GTA 5 10 years ago, and now seeing it on the Game Pass will be like, oh, I haven't played that game in ages. Yeah, fuck it, I'll give it another go. Yeah. So I don't think this is a downside at all for Rockstar. It's just surprising when they do.
I mean, it's a W. How big the W is like arguable.
Exactly.
Probably not that big of a deal, but yeah, cool. Like, sure, it's sure, do it. Why not? But it's not a big deal.
Actually, we just said we were just somewhat dismissive of how many people still would pick up the game on Game Pass, but as we just talked about before, GTA 5 is still a top 10 selling game every month. So there's clearly some people still buying the game. It's just weird.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? Where are they going from? I mean, I guess
kids, right? Like kids.
Yeah. Every year, kids get old enough to get the game themselves.
Like how old? I was like 13, for example, when I first started playing GTA 5, and GTA 5 came out 12 years ago. Yeah. There are kids that are being born after GTA 5 came out that are only now just getting into the game. That is a scary thought.
That's a scary thought.
Scary thought. I'm 26, but I'm at the point for the past like 3 months, I have thought that I am 27. I am losing count now.
And it's not going to get easier when you get to 30.
I know. I'm scared.
It's crazy.
There are kids playing the game that were born after the game, Matt. Oh my god.
The GTA Enhanced version now has modding support. You can now use mod menus and all that stuff, hopefully just in single player. But I'm sure there's some of that stuff in online to some degree now as well. Because ScriptHook, the main tool used to enable modding for the game, is now able to be used in the enhanced version. I have not yet really done much experimentation with the modding in enhanced, in large part because all my mods were made for legacy, and so I can't just like grab the file and move them into the enhanced. It doesn't work that way. For example, Chaos mod, the Pongo and Reg, who helps me with that, they're all working to hopefully get that into enhanced. But it's a good development, as now we'll get some cool stuff for enhanced, but it's not a flicking of a light switch in that the enhanced version will have the same modding support as the game that has been out for 10 years. But still cool,
Yeah, yet again, just sort of what we said before, like the slow migration across to enhanced is just going to continue to happen. It'll be a slow process, but yeah, it's over time. All the mods will, eventually start to make their way across now.
Yep, in the same way that the 5M, a significant way that people mod the game and play the game through roleplay and stuff, they are developing a tool to port assets from the GTA Legacy version to the GTA Enhanced version. But there is already a third-party tool from Code Walker to achieve this as well. So eventually, 5M is going to look even nicer than it already does. Although, when I play 5M, it depends on how optimized any individual server is as to how good the FPS is. And I have to imagine that Enhanced is just going to put another load on that, to the degree that you'll need a pretty beefy system in some of these servers to get a good FPS and to get a good experience. But, I assume anyone who's going out of their way to play 5M is probably a person, in the 1% kind of player base that is willing to fork out a lot of money to get a good experience on 5M. Again, not something that you or I do much in, so although we might do more.
Have you played Hydrate RP by Modest Pelican?
No, not yet, but soon.
Yes.
So just more developments that are good, I suppose. You guys have likely heard that publishers have talked openly, at least they've mentioned it to journalists and stuff, that they may delay their games out of fear of GTA 6. It is as annoying to other devs as to us that we don't have a specific day for the release of GTA 6, because there's only so many gamers in the world, there's only so much attention that people can grab, and if you release your game at the same time as GTA 6, it's probably going to impact sales. The most recent talking about this came from The Game Business. You ever heard of these guys before?
I have now.
I mean, well, apparently they're reputable, so they say here, 3 major unnamed publishers are ready to delay their games if GTA 6 hits 2025. Quoting here, GTA 6 is basically a huge meteor, and we will just stay clear of the blast zone. We will nudge our releases back or forward 3 weeks to avoid it. Of course, the problem is everyone is going to do the same. So 3 or 4 weeks before or after GTA 6, you're going to get a load of games dropping content in what they believe will be the safe zone. That's actually an interesting point that, you're going to be avoiding GTA 6, but you're still going to be facing steeper competition in that area in whatever time you release, I suppose. Yeah. And this just makes sense, Not surprising to me at all to hear this, and I think we've heard rumblings of this for quite a long time. I mean, even TakeTwo is doing it themselves with Borderlands, right?
Yeah, they're moving their own game out of the way. They moved it before GTA 6's release window because they know it'll just get cannibalized.
Yeah.
This is probably pretty common knowledge, but what this means to me is, what are your thoughts on this? You would think, obviously Take-Two said they're not releasing the release date because they want to build hype, but when you know that there's lots of game developers waiting for you to announce your release date, what do you think? Do you think they've got an attitude of, fuck them, they can move their game last minute? Or do you think there's a common courtesy that you would have to have within the industry to say, look, we know we're competitors, but you're moving out of our way, so let's just tell you what our release date is so that you can plan accordingly.
I'm sure, it would be an act of kindness for Take-Two to give a date. Although, as long as they would give a date when it wouldn't inconvenience them, they shouldn't give it 3 years out because they wouldn't know. But if they have an actual release date on the back end, they've set it in stone in some calendar somewhere, and they're gonna hit it, and they know what that is. It would be a kindness for them to release it so people can adjust their lives accordingly.
It would just be the industry etiquette, right?
Yeah.
To me, it just makes sense. I know you're competitors, but it's just it seems like it's the right thing to do in a weird way. it's strange because it's an unprecedented thing. Like, we've never really had a game this big released before. GTA 5 was absolutely huge, but it's going to pale in comparison to the GTA 6 launch numbers. It's strange.
It is going to be interesting to see how much of the player base for other games is going to be gobbled up by this. I don't know. They could be worried for no reason. Maybe it's not going to be as big a release as they worry it's going to be, but honestly, I think their fears are entirely justified, and I wouldn't want to be releasing anything of importance about the release of GTA 6.
Especially considering, like, if you look at Red Dead 2, that was probably at minimum a 40-hour game. At most, you can easily spend over 100 hours on a playthrough, so people are going to be playing GTA 6 for... Some people might not finish the game. They could play it every day or every second day, and they might not finish the game for months.
Yeah.
They're not going to be ready to buy a new game for months.
Again, it's like I haven't seen numbers on it. Like how long the average person plays a video game of a day, or how much game time is dedicated outside of mobile to games. Like, a person might buy one single player experience, and as you say, finish it over the course of many months, and therefore not need another. I guess we'll wait and see, and we hope everyone gets all the game sales they need to continue to be successful. I like hearing games be successful, but it's unfortunate.
More good games are good things.
More good games is a good thing.
Yeah.
A very small topic here. Bully received updates. Rockstar's Bully. I feel like I need to specify that, because there are probably still people who don't know that Rockstar made a game called Bully like 8 million years ago and never made a second one. Rockstar's Bully received some updates on iOS and Android. And it'd be interesting to know if this is indicative of something that the Rockstar is going to, I don't know, release a second version or a second chapter in the game finally, or if this is just Rockstar trying to get more of a foothold in the mobile gaming market, just trying to have every game that they have available and playable on as many devices as possible.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there was like some sort of game-breaking bug that not many people knew about or something that they just thought they'd patch out. It's hard to say. Do you know what the patch notes were?
There's just a bunch of fixes. They're not releasing new content and stuff, but it's support for various different stuff. It might, yes, it says fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue.
Yeah. Maybe there was a serious bug.
Or maybe it's maybe newer phones and stuff are less compatible with it or something, and it's just keeping it playable.
Yeah.
Reading it, nothing jumped out at me as some indication that they're going to revive the Bully brand. But whenever anything happens Bully related, I like to tell people about it, because maybe we get a Bully 2, because Bully 1 was quite a cool game. But
yeah, who knows? Maybe they put one of their other smaller studios on it, like Rockstar Australia. That would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But the more people they have under their umbrella, the more they can have people dedicated to these kind of smaller things that only a few people appreciate, but are still good to do. This next topic is more in your wheelhouse. Ned Luke has a Twitter arguments with some GTA creators. I read what happens, but you can probably cover it a bit better than me. I wasn't involved.
Yeah. I said on Twitter, just sort of wanted to be nice, I guess. I said, don't get clickbaited by GTA 6 stuff tomorrow. If a trailer was coming, it would have been announced by now. Get ready for people to create a lot of rubbish for April Fools. Just, saying, hey, don't believe every GTA 6 headline that comes out on April Fool's Day. Just reminding people, basically. Unexpected reply from Ned Luke. He's replied to a bunch of stuff before. We've had a bit of banter back and forth. Ned Luke said, why should tomorrow be any different for rubbish than the rubbish that's been out there pretty much every other day? Which is honestly, it's a fair statement. But he went on to say, it's April Fool's Day pretty much every day for all of you Rockstar quote-unquote news guys, with a sort of, jokey face. Like, he's trying to say he's just joking around. Which was a bit, I didn't know how to take it at first, but I think he was just sort of joking. So I replied saying, are you saying I should get the whiteboard out again? Ned Luke replied to that as well, saying, definitely, the plan only works with planning. So pretty sure it was kind of just
a bit of
lighthearted jab saying all these theories you guys come up with have been wrong, which, completely fair. A few people jumped to defend me because they thought Ned Luke was having a shot at me, which, look, I appreciated. A few things we kind of need to talk about here. So one, he lumped all of pretty much everyone in the same basket here, saying all of you Rockstar news guys, as though acting as if every GTA creator is bad,
or like anyone who talks about GTA 6 in any capacity is doing the same thing necessarily. Like everyone's just clickbaiting or talking or making up fake stuff or whatever. When you can legitimately cover developments in regards to the GTA 6, because it is news. Like when Strauss Zelnick talks about the marketing strategy for GTA 6, that's news. It's not making some
it warrants
garbage.
Discussion, right? Like it does. Yeah, and I don't know, Ned, like he's been on the record multiple times saying unless it comes from Rockstar, you don't know shit. I think that was his words, which you can understand to an extent, but it's also not entirely true, if that makes sense, right? Like the GTA 6 leaks didn't come from Rockstar, and we know that they were real.
Yeah.
Like all of these Take-Two Interactive's earning calls, they don't technically come from Rockstar, but it's correct info. I think the community is just very on edge. And look, no love lost for Ned Luke. I think Ned Luke is awesome, and I don't think he was being overly serious here, but the community is on edge. We probably all expected GTA 6 Trailer 2 to be out at this point, unless you're extremely pessimistic. And I think content creators, whether it's Twitter pages, YouTubers, streamers, I think it's just the easiest punching bag to go for. It's sort of the easiest place to take out your frustration. I 100% agree that there are shitty pages out there that spread misinformation. But for someone like myself to sort of get thrown into that same basket when I try to be as honest as I can, and if I do talk about theories, I make it abundantly clear that it's only a theory. I don't think that's entirely a fair comparison.
No, I don't think Ned sat there hashing out this tweet to savage you or something, or take you down. Like, he's thinking every day, like, I finally got a chance to take down that damn TJG, that clickbaiting bastard. But I think you have been wrongly slandered before in regards to this topic. And so I think when Ned said something along a similar vein as calling you a person who clickbaits GTA 6 and stuff, that people probably came to your defense.
No, he didn't say that.
Well, no, he didn't say that, but I'm saying like it was had a similar sort of vibe to that. And I think because you were the person who was responded to, that people were more keen to defend, because you have been wrongly labeled this way before. Like if Ned said that to me, I don't think people would have been as keen to interpret it in a way that he was speaking truth or whatever, or that he was trying to speak something true rather than just to have some polite banter or whatever. Because as I say, people say that of you. And I think it's unfair that they do that, because I think there's the biggest distinction between those who spread clickbait nonsense and lies and just make up stuff for engagement and stuff. Like you can see those channels because those channels only do GTA 6 stuff. 99% of the content that they produce is just talking about GTA 6 and regurgitating the same stuff for engagement, where you have a wide host of content that you make. I think you responded to someone.
I'm a GTA Online creator, right?
Exactly.
Like
you're not a GTA 6 news guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And like someone said to you that you're just like Mr. Boss for the win, and you just showed a comparison between Mr. Boss's YouTube channel and yours is like 99% GTA Online videos and like maybe one GTA 6 video that's very short talking about some actual news, and Mr. Boss's is like every single video is GTA 6 release date confirmed and all that stuff. It's just such a wildly unfair comparison, I think.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I might say something that's a bit controversial here, perhaps. Maybe not, but maybe. I think if you actually look at my channel, I make one GTA 6 video a month, maybe two, like at most. 80% maybe of my content at this point is GTA Online. And if, people call anyone a clickbaiter nowadays, but, I probably shouldn't have, but I sort of respond to these people calling me a clickbaiter sometimes. I say, look, show me the videos that are clickbait. And they show me like the same few videos, whether it was the moon theory video that was look, that video has a 98% like to dislike ratio. 98% of people understood that that was a satire video. Of course, with any video, you run the risk of misleading people, but most people got the gist. I think because I have, and yourself as well, but mainly because I make a little bit more GTA 6 content, I think there is the assumption that I make a lot more GTA 6 content than I do. Whenever I ask these people, where are my clickbait videos? I have 908 videos on my channel. Whenever I ask anyone to name a clickbait video, they can normally only show me one or two that they think is clickbait. And apparently I'm a clickbaiter. If you go through any YouTube channel on the platform and go through the 900 videos, you will find one that you think is clickbait. It is just reality.
Especially because everyone doesn't have the same standards for clickbait. You can think something is perfectly fine and justify it as not clickbait, but someone else will have like a ridiculous standard where, I mean, there are people who get extensions to remove thumbnails and change titles to raw descriptions of the video because they think any kind of putting your best foot forward is clickbait. It's got to be the most bland stuff.
One guy was mad at me because the Oscar Guzman Flies Again DLC, he said that was clickbait because it's not a DLC, and I called it a DLC. Like, that's, like, he's gone through the 908 videos on my channel. He's publicly called me a clickbaiter because we're going to get into an argument over what is and isn't a DLC when Rockstar classifies it as a DLC. Like, I think that Mr. Boss for the Win in particular, but a lot of other clickbait GTA 6 creators have done irreparable damage to the GTA 6 community. There are a lot of GTA 6 creators out there that make honest content. But because people have been lied to about this game for so long, and anyone, and you could sort of see that in a way with Ned Luke's tweet, where he sort of just thinks that anyone who talks about GTA 6 other than Rockstar is a clickbaiter, which is just, and I don't think that was his intention to be rude or anything, like, again, to the people who are interpreting that from what Ned Luke said, it's an entirely unfair comparison. And be real with yourself. Do you think everyone's a clickbaiter, or do you just not want to see any GTA 6 content? Like, that's fine. If you don't want to watch GTA 6 content, that is completely fine. But it doesn't mean it's clickbait.
Yeah, and I mean, to that point you made before about people believing that you make nothing but GTA 6 videos and stuff, it's always the case that with anyone, we are like jumping in and out of their content, and the sorts of content that they produce that hits mainstream attention outside of those who normally watch your videos, it's usually stuff that's being talked about for negative reasons or what have you, or when you've gone too far. So if like you make one arguably clickbait video in a year, and that's the only video the person sees from you on social media, that's going to be their impression of you forever. It's like when I find people who say, oh man, Dark5A, you're always in drama, or you're always making drama videos. I'm like, man, I release a video like every 2 days. Arguably maybe like 3 videos a year or something you could call drama or whatever. Like, obviously the lion's share of what I do is not drama, and it's just GTA content. But I'll see comments from people who don't even know that I do GTA content because they've just heard about me from some bullshit or some bullshit video that someone made a long time ago, and there's just nothing we can do about that. We can't have Ned, watch all the videos that are not necessarily clickbait bullshit, or anyone like that. So these misunderstandings are always going to happen. It just sucks. It's just an unfortunate aspect of
what probably
content.
happened with Ned is he's just been scrolling Twitter one morning and he's seen a bunch of fake rubbish GTA 6 posts or even legit ones. Maybe he's just tired of hearing about GTA 6. Me too, to be honest. I want some actual info, but it must have just sent him over the edge, and he thought, you know what, I'm just going to poke fun at these guys. It's going to be harmless, and some people took it the wrong way.
It just caused a bit more of a stir than he expected,
Yeah, I mean, look, if it was serious, the evidence backs up that there are a lot of good creators in the community. Ned did go on to have a little bit of an argument with some others, well, mainly one other smaller creator named Cyberboy. I don't know if you want to discuss this or not.
I mean, you can if you want. I was actually going to bring up Cyberboy as a person who I think does GTA 6 coverage quite well.
Yeah.
I referenced that video he made about whether or not GTA 6 is woke and the evidence for that and what people say about it and stuff. I thought that was a fantastic video that he actually dug into claims about the game.
Yeah, he debunked pretty much all of it.
Yeah, it was and yeah, I've seen a bunch of his videos and sure he talks about GTA 6 quite a bit, but I've never looked at his videos as fabricating stuff. It's often more debunking bullshit that other people have made and stuff. And I think that's a perfectly fine thing to do. Certainly, if there was less bullshit about GTA 6 out there, Cyberway would speak less about the game, right? Or rather, the talking about the game. It's weird where a lot of what the discussions about GTA 6 is, or what it covers, isn't GTA 6 itself, but other people talking about GTA 6. We're talking about theories that people have about GTA 6 or people's false claims about GTA 6 more than we're discussing the game itself, because as Ned says, there's not much official news on the game itself. But still interesting.
Arguments like this only actually happen when there's nothing better to do.
Yeah.
So, like, when GTA 6 info starts actually coming out, stuff like this will probably never happen.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right, like, you could... Yeah, no, you go on.
I was about to say this isn't too serious, and neither of us knows Ned Luke as a person, so maybe we're speaking too authoritatively on his mindset.
Yeah.
It's just, I've seen a lot of the way Ned communicates and the things he said. I don't think he really has some in massive amounts of hatred for DGG or something.
No. And as I said, Ned has replied to me probably like 5 or maybe not 10, but like 5 times before. We've had ongoing banter.
Yeah.
So I think people are reading into this too much. And Ned just sort of wanted to poke fun at us for the April Fool's theory.
Yeah, this is a topic you've put in here. I don't know what this is. We are getting close to the GTA 6 O'Clock's prediction.
Yeah, GTA 6 O'Clock, another podcast. We spoke about them last episode, I believe. Maybe not, did we?
They made a prediction. About it. I don't think we brought it up in the podcast, did we?
Yeah, so they made a prediction of early April for GTA 6 Trailer 2. They said they were about 80% confident. They said 39 out of 50 spaceship parts confident, so about 78% confident.
What'd they base it on?
I believe it was from what they've heard.
Like stuff behind the scenes, or just the same sort of stuff we're using?
I don't quite remember. I believe maybe they might have had a tip-off. It's all a bit ambiguous in this space. It's hard. I mean,
is April much of a prediction? Because like we predict that as well. If you're predicting a whole month, there's only a few months left.
No, look, they have been very trusted though. They've been around since before GTA 5, making GTA 5 content as well. So they're very trusted in the community, which is why a lot of people sort of bought into this 80% conviction from them. And I guess it remains to be seen over the next week or two if that turns out to be correct. But for the love of God, they made a prediction. If it is wrong, don't go after them. They never said it was going to happen. I do feel the need to preemptively possibly jump in to defend them here because I've been on the wrong end of that. They never said it was going to happen. They made a prediction, and that is okay.
Look, just want to make this clear. We, the 6-Star Podcast, with 81% confidence, are predicting April.
No, they said 78, so 79% confident.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay. We said it first.
Yes.
If it's right. If it's wrong,
we get all the
we
credit.
never mentioned it. We never mentioned it. Yeah.
We'll remove it from the YouTube video afterwards with the answer.
Yeah.
And this is Leslie Benzies' Mind's Eye gets a release date, June 10th. And
yeah, so we spoke about this maybe in episode 1. The Mind's Eye game from Leslie Benzies, former president of Rockstar North, left the company a handful of years ago to start his own studio called Build a Rocket Boy. I believe the game just got its 3rd trailer with a release date of June 10. Have you looked at it?
Whoa, 3 trailers for a video game. Wow. People who like Mind's Eye eating good here. I'm jealous.
It might be nice.
Yeah. I haven't even seen this trailer. As I said in the first episode of the podcast, I'm not super into Mind's Eye. I'll probably play it when it comes out just to see what it's about. But this trailer has like 100,000 views.
Yeah, it's struggling to get off the ground, which is interesting. Their marketing... Yeah, it's Probably not going too great. Did you see in the trailer, though, they have a reference to Franklin and Lamar,
really?
The first mission with Franklin and Lamar. There's a red and a white sports car next to each other.
Yeah. I see.
Yes. So a cool little Easter egg there. It's always going to be hard when you leave Rockstar Games to start your own studio to escape the GTA copycat
let's be honest though, would anyone give a shit about this game or be paying attention to it to any degree if Leslie Benzies wasn't previously associated with GTA and Rockstar? I think not at all. This would just be one of the hundreds of games releasing of a month. Although, I mean, this does have a bit, like the trailers do suggest it has a bit more polish and it is in a genre where you don't get that many games. Like, maybe I'm being too hypercritical here, but I do think the majority of the attention is because he's Leslie Benzies, as opposed to Mind's Eye itself looking like an innovative, amazing piece of gaming that's going to blow us away like GTA 6. I just want to say, until I haven't seen anything about this game yet that really has me salivating at the mouth. I hope I'm wrong and the game is unbelievably amazing, but
it's also not open world, which you might not know. It's not open world. It's a linear story that has futuristic elements as well as some like GTA inspired elements, driving cars, cop chases, this sort of stuff. But
you know more about this than me. I have heard in passing that potentially people are meant to be able to make their own games and experiences with Mind's Eye.
Yeah, so not necessarily Mind's Eye. They launched a project, they announced a project called Everywhere a few years ago that was sort of meant to be a platform, kind of like a metaverse, really, where you make games within the game, and anyone can sort of make games within the game. Shortly after they announced that, though, Fortnite came out with the Unreal Engine stuff that kind of seems like a very similar thing. So I actually don't know if they're still going ahead with this Everywhere idea, because all they've really spoken about over the past year is Mind's Eye. So maybe they've canned it. I'm not too sure on that.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Like, because I had vaguely heard that maybe Mind's Eye was like a prototype, or rather, it's showcasing what you could do with this other thing they've made, but maybe not, as you say.
Yeah,
I guess we'll find out.
I personally, I don't really think that's where the future of gaming is going, where we're all going to have games inside of a game. This whole metaverse idea, like Ready Player One, is a cool idea for a movie, but it's just I don't know how realistic that really is.
I mean, because any time you make a game within a game, you're limited to like that game's like physics and engine and assets. And, well, you're more limited in what you can create than if you start from scratch outside and make your own game. But I mean, Roblox still going strong as far as I'm aware. Although did I hear they had some issues with profitability or something? Am I getting that right?
Not too sure.
Profit issues. Ultimately, Roblox remains unprofitable. The company posted a consolidated net loss of $221 million in Q4, an improvement from $325 million loss in Q4. Oh, yeah, this is 2023 actually.
Wow.
This is actually from 4 months ago. It's still not profitable apparently. But I mean, when something is called not profitable, though, given the way that creative accounting can work, something can be profitable, but the money just gets shoved into the particular pockets that can avoid taxes and stuff. It's like the way they do with the Hollywood creative accounting, where on paper a movie makes no money, but in reality it made hundreds of millions of dollars. So something being reported as not profitable isn't necessarily the case, but I have heard this said enough that it does put into perspective the potential profit viability of a Roblox creator ecosystem, or any creator ecosystem. Not everyone can make a Fortnite creator ecosystem, and it's also even debatable how successful the creator ecosystem for Fortnite has been in keeping people playing the game. It's entirely possible that it's just a thing that's there, and really people are still just coming back for the main base game.
Well, the majority of players are in the base game.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see all the player counts for any of these modes, and the vast majority are playing Fortnite itself. And
it's entirely possible that those people would just be playing the base game if that extra stuff didn't exist, or that having that extra stuff is costing more money than it's earning, or that that extra stuff is confusing people enough that they become they find the game off-putting. For example, when I play Fortnite sometimes, I have to ask my chat, like, oh, which one of these do I press again to play the game? The more complexity you add to something...
You're an old man, Matt.
Oh, no, it's just anything. Like, the average person can't, like, install a mod in GTA 5. Like, the more complexity you add to your game, the harder it is for new people to jump in and experience it in the way that you want, or to have a fulfilling experience and to understand what's going on and whatnot. And when you start creating games within games, that becomes just more and more complex, more and more confusing for the average player. And so it's like, everyone just wants their game to come out and make money forever in a passive way. And it remains to be seen how successful GTA 6 is going to be in doing that, because clearly Rockstar, TakeTwo, wants to do that kind of stuff with GTA 6.
To some extent. The extent is a bit unknown. Yeah.
And that's all our topics. So I guess we'll wrap the episode here, because we're both going to see the Minecraft movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of it, to be honest. We'll have to see.
Yeah. There's been a lot of, memes about it.
I am Steve.
I'm not a Minecraft fanatic or something, but I am vaguely interested in the movie, and I have played the game. I do enjoy the game, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to make a prediction right now. The movie is going to make shit tons of money. It doesn't matter how good it is. If it gets a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes, kids are going to watch it bare minimum, and that will be enough to make it profitable. It's just a matter of how profitable is it going to be.
And I will back that up by also stating a fact that no matter what happens, Twitter will be mad about it.
Someone's always mad. Someone always is mad. But yeah, so thank you for watching, everyone. This third episode of this podcast.
We made it to 3.
Yeah, we made it. We're official.
We're still going.
Yeah. Sorry for the delay in this episode coming out. We do want to do it every second Wednesday, but I was sick again. So totally my fault. Don't blame TG. Don't get mad at TG on Twitter.
Well, in 2 weeks, Matt, we're going to be in Japan. Are we recording the next episode in Japan, or?
Can we just record it before we leave, if there is enough for us to talk about? If not,
I leave on the 11th.
So that's 9 days from now, and we wouldn't want to do it on that day. We'll figure it out. We'll either do it afterwards or during.
Bring a camera to Japan.
I mean, I will have my live streaming stuff, so
yeah.
We'll figure something out, and it depends if there's enough for us to talk about to justify, make it and going to the effort to make a podcast while in Japan. But we'll see. So thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for hanging out. TG, any final words? He's saluting. He's saying goodbye. Bye, guys.